I'm gonna be at one of these New Japan shows one day. I'm going to be there. I'm gonna have my TMDK towel, and then when Zack Sabre Jr. beat whoever ass it is that he don't wrestle, he's gonna wipe his sweat on my fucking towel. That is what
Hmm.
I dream about. That moment, I dream about it. Oh
Hmm.
Lord. Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't even know what word to use to describe how I feel right now, because I was just like, I don't know how many times I've said it. Like, if y'all watch my live stream, I was like, you know what? That day is gonna happen. One day I'm gonna meet that man, and I'm gonna make sure he sweats all over my towel so I could take it home and just fucking cuddle with it. I don't know, whatever. Some of y'all laugh and y'all think I was joking, and I meant it. And I made it my mission to make sure it happened tonight. First of all, I have to say, if you didn't see the Windy City Riot pay-per-view, it's absolutely a really great show. And not just because I was there, but because it just had a really great vibe for a pay-per-view. Exactly what you would want to see, whether if it's live or if you're at home on a Friday night looking for a good wrestling show to watch. Um, I didn't even watch the pre-show. I'm not even gonna lie, because by the time I made it, the Ubers were taking a little too long. So I only had a couple of minutes to spare by the time the show started. And we started off with TJP versus Tom Lawler. Yes, Tom. Y'all know how much I love Tom. So I got pictures of him with his booty shorts. I don't know. I like stuff like that. When I go to wrestling shows, nothing but butts and abs all over my phone of wrestlers. That's just my thing. I thought this was a really great matchup. For me, I'm kind of looking at TJP and I'm like, yeah, I mean, I enjoy him, but I haven't seen anything strong in terms of a character, in terms of something that's going to lead to something much bigger in the future, despite him being part of United Empire. Something about him is just like, there's something missing with the character, but in the ring, I absolutely enjoy him. He ended up taking the win over Tom, which I was okay with. But Tom, if you keep wearing them booty shorts, I'm gonna want you to win a lot more often. After this, we have Azumi going against Mina Shirakawa. Winner of this match will face CEO at New Japan Resurgence pay-per-view in May. And for this, I was like, oh, it's going to be Mina, right? Mina has already left Stardom. She's going to be joining AEW. Not sure exactly when, but I still do see her that she's still booked with them and with New Japan. So I'm not really sure when things are going to start for her when she goes on over to AEW. I was okay with either one of them winning, but my guess was for Mina. That match ended in a double count out. And when I tell you, everybody in the building was so upset about it. It was like, run it back, run it back. Somebody's gonna have to take this win. And everybody kept saying, hey, let's start this back. First of all, they had a really great matchup, really great chemistry with each other. And this is for a number one contender. If it ends in a double countout, then we do not have someone to beat a number one contender. Now, my guess is that it's going to end up being a triple threat match, which I'm cool with seeing CEO being in a situation like that, putting her title on the line. It gives her a little bit more of a risk of losing that title. I don't know if she'll be losing that title anytime soon, because I still see her as a belt collector that she is right now. However, we're just going to give a little time to see what New Japan end up announcing, or if CEO say, you know what, bring both of these bitches, I'll have a triple threat match with them and still retain. And if that's the case, I'm cool with it. Up next, we had the New Japan Strong Openweight Tag Team Championships on the line. The World Class Wrecking Crew, that's what they're calling themselves now. No more West Coast Wrecking Crew. They are champions, and they went against the Intergalactic Jet Setters, Kushida and Kevin Knight. Kevin Knight, oh man, he looked just as good as I knew he would in person. Oh God. I really do enjoy the Jet Setter. I think they are really great, and I've been nervous that, since they had announced that Kevin Knight is part of AEW, I thought that maybe we wouldn't be able to see Kushida and Kevin tagging, but it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. Kevin is still part of New Japan, so a whole bunch of y'all got dual contracts and everything. So this is one of those situations. So they're still tagging. For me, I thought, all right, I don't necessarily see Kushida and Kevin taking the titles, especially with the Super Junior tournament that's going to be coming up. I was just like, yeah, they're going to be busy with that. I don't see the tag championships just changing hands right before that. And it took some cheating, quite a bit of cheating, to make sure that a world-class Wrecking Crew would retain. For me, I'm cool with it. And one thing I would have to say, like, as a person who prefer the heels, I'm surprised I'm even able to talk. My throat hurts a little bit from screaming, acting a fool in there. That's what you're supposed to do. And I'm over here putting in all the work, screaming for these heels, and everyone else is booing them. So I have to put in a lot more work than usual. Now, match of the night, the New Japan Strong Openweight Championship match. This is a 30-man iron match. This is a rematch. Ishii going against Gabe Kidd. Best match of the night, and this has nothing to do with me being there. I think it maybe in a way kind of does. When I tell you that these two put everything that they had, and even at some point I was like, Ishii dead, leave him alone. The emotions that went through in this match is exactly how wrestling psychology is supposed to play out, and it was just it was damn near perfect. I really enjoyed this match so much, and being in the crowd made it feel so much more emotional, because every time you think that Gabe is just going to retain, Ishii somehow just keeps going. Now, we did have this Iron Man match going where, in my opinion, after they chopped each other to death, which was like 75% of the match, and I'm kidding. Maybe not 75%, maybe like 55, okay? Their chests just looked absolutely horrendous. At times I just felt like Ishii was going to just give up. There was at one point when I thought that he was knocked out, but he kept going anyway. And they even took the crowd out. They even took the fight out to the crowd, which was hard to see because, once again, all these wrestling promotions, they got that same issue where they don't have those TVs up in places for people to actually be able to see it. So in the Wintrust Arena, this is my first time going there, the TVs are so high up. I'm just like, well, who is watching TV up there? Jesus, God, watching the fucking show from up there is insane. But anyway, and for me, I thought, okay, they're going to bring it back in the ring after they fight in the crowd. And then get back in there. And then Gabe's just going to end up winning. So Gabe gets a first pin on Ishii. And then Ishii onto Gabe. And then we're down to just, obviously, the match being over. And they each have a pin over each other. So now it's just like, okay, sudden death. Everybody's saying sudden death, sudden death, sudden death. And I said, Gabe, go home. Just go home. You're not losing the title if you just go home right now. Referee calls for sudden death, and they continue to go. And I'm telling you, that last few minutes, that sudden death was just... I was on the edge of my seat. Everybody were at the edge of their seat. Everybody was like feeling this all together. And when Ishii somehow beat Gabe, which I was not expecting at all, the whole place just erupted. And Ishii just looked like he was too motherfucking out of it to even celebrate or anything, which is just so interesting. And I just thought, holy shit, I cannot believe he did it. I was not expecting for these titles to go anywhere. Now, after that match, we do have Los Ingobernables de Japón versus El Fantasma and Rocky Romero. So it's Titan. I love Titan. He's so good. And Naito. I'm not proud to say this, but I got my ass up. I got my ass up and left. Because I had asked this guy earlier. I said, hey, they got them TNDK titles up there? And he said, no. Something told me, I said, get your black ass up there and go look for your damn self. So I went up there, and they had like 2 different sections where they were selling the towels. And then I found one. And I don't know if it was the last one or not, whatever situation was, but I was like, baby, give it to me. I'm ready. Because I need to make my dream come true tonight. So by the time I actually made it back over there, it was damn near the end of the match. and Los Ingobernables de Japón end up taking the win, which was okay with me. Now, what y'all been waiting for, what I was waiting for, Zack Sabre Jr. versus David Finlay. Do I even care how the match went at this point? Probably not. I would say this. There was a part of the match where the referee, he counted to 3. He didn't say 3, but you heard 3 sounds of hands hitting the mat. So the whole crowd is just like, that was a 3, Zach won. Then he goes, no. What he said was, it was 2 hands, and then his elbow just happened to hit the mat. And I was like, what? Even if that happened, that's still 3, right? Shouldn't that count as a 3? So they kept going with it because that's not how and when the match was supposed to end. And people was really upset because, like, what do you do at that point if the referee accidentally counts to 3 and that's not the way the match is supposed to be finished? So, people were not happy about that because it's just one of those things where it's just like, well, it happened. Maybe just leave it alone. But Zack Sabre Jr. ends up taking the win anyway. Now, to the good part. Me, obviously. Now, because at first my initial thought was if Zack loses, he's just going to go to the back like a sore loser and not even really pay attention to anybody. But I said if Zack wins, he's going to be like celebrating with the fans, I'm guessing. So he starts off by like taking the tape off and giving it to fans, like off his wrist or whatever, giving it to some people that was in the crowd or whatever. And then there was this girl who was literally right on the opposite of where I was at, and she had one of these towels too, and she's just waving it or whatever, and she had like a Zack Sabre Jr. Little teddy bear thing, which is sold out. I've been trying to get this bitch for a while now. She had it on her shoulder or whatever, and he was looking at it. And then I was just like, oh my gosh, if he doesn't see me, I don't know what's going to happen. Because I bought this dress specifically for this. Because I say he is going to notice me with this orange Hoochie Mama dress on. Like, my kitty cat was out several times tonight, okay? Because I wanted to make sure I got noticed. And I was like, the best way to do that is if I wore orange.
Please, baby, please.
You look great in orange, darling.
And it actually paid off. The way that man looked at me, I was just like, this is exactly how I've always pictured it in my mind. Oh my God. And, I just looked at him like I couldn't even believe it was happening, because it's one of those things. I know it sounds funny to say, like when you sit there and imagine it, imagining something happen in your mind like a billion times, and you're just like, well, that's probably never going to happen. And it actually does. It's absolutely fucking amazing to see something that's played out in your head a whole bunch of times actually happen. So for me, I thought that was just mind blowing. Whoever it was, a foot that I stepped on with my heels, baby, I'm sorry. I almost fell out. My knees done went weak and everything, and I'm just like, holy shit! I think you impregnated me just now. A fucking amazing moment, and I can't even believe that happened to me. This whole thing was absolutely, believe it or not, this morning I missed. My first flight was delayed. Then my connecting flight, I missed it. Then I had to be delayed for another fucking 4 hours. I didn't even know when I was going to make it, okay? I didn't know when or if I was even going to make it to Chicago today because of all the foolishness that ended up happening. And I end up coming to Chicago like 6 hours later than originally planned. So everything I went through today, absolutely worth it. Now, after this, IWGP World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Goto versus Shota Umino. When I tell you, nobody gave a fuck. I mean, I cared. Sure, I was still in the moment about the whole Zack Sabre Jr. thing or whatever, but at that point, for me to experience this myself made me think, like, especially for somebody who does reviews and stuff like that, the American crowd, I think, there's a disconnect with Goto being champion, but the Japanese audience absolutely connects with Goto with the title, you know. And I'm not surprised so much about it. But Shota Umino, Japanese people, American people, nobody give a fuck. Nobody cares. When I tell you, it was like crickets. Like, it was so quiet. I was uncomfortable for a little bit. And I was just like, I wonder if it sounds this quiet on the TV. And sure enough, my girl GM hit me up on the live and she said, is it that quiet? I'm like, yes, it is. It actually is. It is quiet. I'm not sure. There, people who were sitting around me seemed to not really know who Goto was. Some of them was just like, well, I don't know who Shota is, but he has nice pants. And trust me, if you're a wrestler and the only thing people are saying, you got nice pants, and there's a problem. There's a bit of a disconnect. Not even a bit. There's something that Shota needs to be working on, and I don't even know what it is at this point. He's young, so they're probably going to be able to figure it out at some point. But the disconnect in that crowd was insane. The second half of that match is when the crowd started to really get into it. But it shouldn't have been that way the entire time. Because this is the IWGP World title on the line. And it should have been a different vibe throughout the entire match where people were actually into it. Now, after this, the Young Bucks came on the screen. And when they came on, the entire place was booing. And I don't know if y'all were able to hear them, but everybody in the crowd was saying, fuck you, Bucks, fuck you, Bucks. I don't know if y'all were able to hear that over the video of the Young Bucks video package. What they say, I don't know, some shit to the War Dogs or whatever. They'll get their ass whipped, hopefully. Main event. The Never Openweight Championship title was on the line. I didn't even realize that the title was on the line. Honestly, I just thought this was just Tanahashi just doing something. I didn't remember. Tanahashi going against Takeshita. Takeshita looks so yummy in person. That man, oh my god. Tanahashi, this is his last match in the United States because he's going to have his last match at Wrestle Kingdom in January. So it's the last match that he's done. Why y'all not even coming back to the United States after that? Are they coming back? Am I missing something? What about Capital Collision and them? Those are not coming back? Well, whatever. So everybody's obviously behind Tanahashi. And I was kind of surprised to not really hear too many people cheering for Takeshita. For me, I'm in between. Takeshita is my guy. Tanahashi, that's the only president that I acknowledge. So for me, I was just like, it didn't really matter. I thought it would have been nice for Tanahashi to win. And I thought it would have been okay for Takeshita to win as well. Tanahashi, this was definitely one of the better matches that I've seen him do. One of the better singles matches that I've seen him do in the past, year or so. And Takeshita just goes to show that he can work with anybody and make anybody look good. No offense, President, but it hasn't been peaches and cream this past year with him in the ring. Naito too. And I thought that they worked really well together. And the crowd was really into it because they knew that this is the last time he's going to be here on U.S. soil wrestling. With that being said, Takeshita looked remorseful in terms of he's like, I know I'm going to beat your ass and I know I'm going to retain my title, but I feel kind of bad about it. So if you go back to several times Takeshita is about to hit his finisher, you can see he's thinking about it. You could tell that he feels some type of way about doing it, but he got to do what he got to do. Even at some point there was a fuck you Don Callis chant going on. I was like, well, Unc not even here. Well, why y'all bothering him for? He's not even here. Anyway, Takeshita retains. And everybody in the crowd seemed to be upset about it. And I was just like, wait, hold on. The title was on the line. Tanahashi does not need this. He doesn't need this. And with him retiring, this was a great thing for Takeshita. This goes to show that he looks at Takeshita as someone that holds a lot of value in this company, to have him go over him, because he could have just been a shitty president and just been like, I'm gonna put myself over. And he didn't. He sees talent in Takeshita like everyone else, and he made sure he retained, and pretty much letting everyone know after that match, he loves the fans and whatnot, and he said he's going to be the president, and New Japan's in good hands. Look at the fans that are here. Look at the wrestlers that are here, and that New Japan, his wish is for New Japan to be number one. And when he said number one, I'm guessing number one promotion. President Tanahashi, if you want that to happen, give me a call, and we can do something about some of the booking choices that's been going on. Overall, this was a really great show. I can't tell you a bad New Japan pay-per-view that I've actually seen. It was fun being there, being around other wrestling fans. Some of y'all need to put on deodorant. I can't stop saying it enough. Shower before y'all get to these damn shows. It just felt really good to be at a show and being around other wrestling fans. The next show I'm going to be going to is All In. It's going to be a much bigger show, probably stinkier people since it's in the middle of July in Texas. But it's so great to be around other people who have the same passion about professional wrestling, and everybody's sharing that under one roof. So if you're a wrestling fan, you've never been to a show, or you haven't been to one in quite some time, do yourself a favor. Whether it's a big promotion or indie promotion, go ahead and go over to one of these shows and just have fun. They're there to entertain you. Stop getting to the online drama and all this bullshit, and just have a great time. Pro wrestling's at an all-time high. And whenever I go to these shows, I always feel sad about leaving, because I always feel like I leave a little piece of myself out there in the ring. And I don't know, I'm just in love with professional wrestling. This was a great pay-per-view. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and check it out. See you guys then. Bye. Oh my God, I'm going to sleep with this. I'm going to sleep with this, and then I'll frame it when I get home.